Hey, YouTubers, it's your boy Domination. I'm back again. The only place, 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 only place. Oh, place gonna get it. Oh, place gonna get it. Oh, place gonna get it. Only place gonna get it. Only place gonna get it is right back at basic. Chuck the Deuce is how we do it. Texas baby. Chuck the Deuce how we do it. Texas baby. $9 back. You know it is. Know it is. Know it is. Real men rise up. Fake men rise down. Real women rise up. Fake women rise down. Prep the one preacher and we preach on. And today's topic we're going to talk about is: do y'all think there's a white genocide going on? Do y'all think so? I've been hearing that from all talks. I hear it from black genocides that every time when a black person or a black man or black women, especially for black men getting murdered on the street, getting died of a hand of drugging other drugs from other people, sell the poison of sticker bug oaks. Every time when a brother go to prison, every time brothers have babies by different women, it's killing the numbers. I don't know how true that is going on. There's a black agenda. Every time when a sister says she don't need no man, I'm a strong, independent woman. Every time she talking about she the mother, the father, this and that, they kill reproducing of this world. And they said Planned Parenthood responsible why the black genocide going on. Even in Africa, all that going on. I don't know how true that is, but this is not the black genocide I'm talking about. This is a white genocide. They said in 50 years and down the line that Arabs and Latino people going to take over France. I don't know how true that is. I don't know, but I'm going to show you two videos. One video I'm going to show you hearing this man is talking right there and there. And I don't know if that's true. What the people out there in France, what's really going on over there? Seriously. And then there's this another thing, this video, but I can't find it. But anybody that knows what I'm talking about, if it's in there or not, they said there was a lot of killing going on in South Africa with white farmers, and that's kind of messed up. Innocent white farmers getting killed by Africans. I don't know how true that is, but that's just hearsay. People might say, well, that's conspiracy of absentism going on, but we will never know, because we always think America is the whole entire world, but there's an outside of the world that we don't know. And see, people need to get off that trap in the bubble and get outside of it. See, outside, explore the world, explore the new options, explore the other people, and see other cultures, and that's going on. But here's the video, but I'm going to play this one and then play the rest and wrap this up. But here's the video that will prove to you, do you think that white genocides are real? Do you think so? That it don't lead up to me, it's lead up to you who you believe. But here's a video if you believe it or not. And I'm going to play it for you. Here's the video, all right? All right.
Then why do so many people want to come here if we're so bad?
Because there are places where they can do good here. If we allow for that to happen and we create change.
Change. So that means a changing America. You want a changing America.
Of course America has to change.
Right. And you'd like the changing America to be the dominant people would be people of color.
That's going to happen anyway.
But you want it to happen, do you not?
That's going to happen anyway.
Do you not want it to happen?
That's going to happen whether you or I want it or not.
That's the bottom line on it, isn't it, Charles?
No, the bottom line
it is.
That you fear
I don't fear anything.
Your white privilege will no longer exist.
Rule of law. You want a totally different country.
It's going to happen whether you like it or not, whether I want it or not. Look at New York City. The majority of the people in New York City are people of color. And that's why you have problems with immigration.
And that's
because
why
of the browning of America.
That's why
you want to stay in control.
Now,
you want to stay in power.
A new report out by the government shows that by the year 2042, white Americans will no longer represent the majority of the population. That prediction is 8 years sooner than previously expected.
The Census Bureau believes that by 2042, white Americans will make up less than half of the U.S. population. But with so many mixed communities, diverse families, and changing mindsets, Hesbiver believes that by that time, ethnic lines will be blurred.
Will we reach even a point at which we will say, these categories don't mean anything anymore?
Do I think white people will become a minority? When I say that, I include particularly the Hispanic population. And yet I'm not, they're really, as I understand it, that's not really a race. So when we talk technically race, that's wrong. It's just that Hispanic people are a protected class. Do I think white nationalists have a point in saying enough is enough when whites are now at 66%, when our founding fathers were at 100%? I guess I don't. I don't think they have a point. I don't appreciate those organizations. But to some extent, I guess I can appreciate maybe the people's sense of loss.
But in fact, white folks are starting to be a minority now.
You think white people like that?
Yeah, but seem like it's more Mexicans than white folks out here.
Just maybe someday it just means a completely blended group of people that nobody will be able to figure out what anybody is anymore.
Is that a good thing?
I think that's a great thing.
I think we are yellowing America and everybody's blending, and that, I think that's a good thing.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think we got enough here. And just imagine what America's going to be 15 years from now.
Well, I can see the potential for a lot of racial tension between blacks and Latinos. You're here bleeding our social services, you're using our hospitals, you're using this without contributing anything to our society.
But they can come over here and don't even have to speak English. You know what I'm saying? If we were in their country, we would have to adapt.
The people who want to come to America, from Mexico, my feeling is, by God, let them in,
Let them in?
Absolutely.
We've got some people saying that we've got to open up the door and allow more in.
No, we shouldn't.
People saying that we should close the door and build a wall.
Close the door and build a wall.
And what's so bad about it, these Mexicans have more of an attitude. They're more arrogant than what a white man is.
So you say that the Mexicans are more racist than the whites?
Yes, especially the ones with the big belt buckles and the reptile shoes.
The United States lets 250,000 immigrants come in every year. It's more than any country in the world.
Correct.
But you think that's not enough? We're not being generous enough?
Well, I think we got too many already.
We got too many?
Too many.
If you were the immigration czar, what would you do? If you could give one order, what would it be?
I would send them back.
All 20 million?
Yeah.
If you were the president, what would you do with the 20 million illegal aliens that are here?
Oh, single dose adios. They'd be gone. Oh, it would be no problem. They'd be gone. Oh, no.
Now, if I said that, I know what would happen. I'd get called a racist.
Comes to naming a baby, do you know which name is more popular right now in Great Britain? George or Mohammed? George? Wrong. No, it's Mohammed. You got it. Mohammed actually just overtook George on the list of the most popular names in the UK. With me now to talk about the deepening influence of Islam on life in Britain is Gerard Baker, U.S. editor of the Times of London. So, Jerry, what does this mean? Just more Muslims in Britain?
That's right. I mean, the number of Muslims is growing dramatically. Muslims tend to have larger families, many more children. Birth rates among the rest of the population are declining. It's even more dramatic in the rest of Europe. Mohammed is actually the single most popular name on birth certificates in Belgium, for example. Across Europe, this is a demographic phenomenon. More and more Muslims are having 5, 6, 7 children. Traditional Caucasian, if you like, Christians tend to be having 1 or in many cases no children at all. So we're on a steady path here towards a rapid increase in the proportion of the population that is Muslim.
Catastrophically falling birth rates, well below the replacement level. It's entirely possible that the French will disappear. There will be no native-born French that come from the traditional French population.
What some call the demographic winter of Western society.
Yes, there are demographic shifts. Yes, women did decide in the past several decades to stop having as many children. They made a decision to control their fertility when contraceptives became more available. But the only reason to call that a crisis or a demographic winter is if you're overly focused on which babies are being born and whether they're the right religion and race.
I'll say, well, what would be so wrong? What would be so wrong if the Western world did become Muslim? And that, I think, is the self-neutering result of the multicultural mindset. You remember Mayor Nagin in New Orleans. When it turned out that a lot of the people who'd moved away didn't want to come back, he got all worried about that because he said New Orleans has always been, quote, a chocolate city, unquote. In other words, he thought that who lived there made a difference to what the city was. Why can't you make that point about Italians in Milan? Why can't you make that point about Swedes in Malmo? Why can't you make that point about Dutch people in Rotterdam? And I think that's what I find fascinating, that the leftist progressives say, well, what's the big deal if the whole world becomes Muslim? What would be wrong with that? Right. And I think what the response to that is, well, look, okay, which currently Muslim city would you want to live in?
Exactly.
I like the Muslim world. I spent a lot of time in the Muslim world. I love Amman. I love Cairo. I love visiting them. But would I want to raise a family in Cairo? Would I want to try and do business in Cairo? Would I want to try and exercise my right to free speech, even in Jordan, which is a supposedly moderate Muslim state? No. I'm very happy to visit them, but I'm very happy to come home to free, pluralist Western societies.
Yes, and I'm happy for that. I mean, I think multiculturalism is a cult of, by and large, a cult of ignorance. I'm astonished, that if you label yourself a multiculturalist, it absolves you knowing anything about any other cultures. Try it. Ask a multiculturalist what the capital of Nepal is, or ask him about the principal exports of Malaysia or whatever. You won't. It absolves you from having to know anything about other cultures, and because of that. It actually, if everything is all the same, if everything is just as good and as bad as each other, who are we to say when we hear, for example, that Muslim polygamists in Ontario are claiming separate welfare checks for each of their wives? We sort of can't figure out, why is that wrong? Why is that wrong?
Migration is based on the false assumption that we're the products of our culture and that exposure to European culture will transform non-Europeans into Europeans in the second generation, if not the first. Distinct peoples are not the product of distinct cultures. Distinct cultures are the product of distinct peoples. Bring in the populations of the third world into Europe and you'll be bringing the third world into Europe, not temporarily, for all time. And that's what we've been doing for the last 6 decades. Thank you.
Genocide, the world's most heinous crime.
In Iraq, crimes comparable to the Holocaust. Saddam Hussein is being charged for the first time with genocide.
We promised to stop it.
Never again.
But it did happen. Again. And again. And again. Each time, there were a few who stood up to bear witness. A few who tried to stop the killings. But time after time, they were shunned, ignored, or told it was somebody else's problem. Each time they screamed bloody murder, the world turned away.
Oftentimes the word genocide is thrown around in international forums, and most of us think we know what defines genocide, but really we don't. The definition is much broader under international law. Article 2 of the Convention defines genocide as any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group as such. Killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, And lastly, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. Article 3, furthermore, defines the crimes that can be punished under this convention, and that is genocide, conspiracy to commit genocide, direct and public incitement to commit genocide, attempt to commit genocide, or complicity in genocide. It goes on to talk about many things, but one thing becomes crystal clear. Anytime you deliberately inflict on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, it constitutes genocide. Now, most of us believe genocide happens as a war crime. Well, generally that's what it's prosecuted as. Saddam Hussein was prosecuted for war crimes, by and large, but it need not be a war crime. It can be a series of human rights violations. This is largely misunderstood. Limkin, for instance, wrote after the law was first written, generally speaking, genocide does not necessarily mean the immediate destruction of a nation, except when accomplished by mass killings of all members of the nations. It is intended to signify a coordinated plan of different actions aiming at the destruction of the essential foundations of the life of national groups, with the aim of annihilating the groups themselves. The objectives of such a plan would be disintegration of the political and social institutions, of culture, of language, national feelings, religion, and the economic existence of national groups, and the destruction of personal security, liberty, health, dignity, and even lives of the individuals belonging to such groups. More often it refers to a coordinated plan aimed at destruction of the essential foundations at the life of a national group, so that these groups wither and die like plants that have suffered a blight. The end may be accomplished by forced disintegration of political and social institutions, of the culture of the people, of their language, of their national feelings, of their religions. And that is very broad. Most listening to this would say that is extremely broad, and it can be when you start talking about a series of human rights violations. Most of us have heard this phrase in the West, race is just a social construct. Well, it isn't. It isn't. The word genocide comes from the word genotype. Genotype is interchangeable with race. For instance, the Indo-European genotype. It is very specific. It can be tested for again and again. You can't target that for extinction. If you do so, it's a hanging trial. I can't get common sense to most listeners. But what it comes down to is a series of human rights violations targeting someone for extinction. It's kind of entertaining hearing that this concept of race is a social construct, because under international law there is no such thing as a social construct. Yeah, Saddam Hussein doesn't show up at his trial and say the Kurds were just a social construct. All Iraqis were equal. The Kurds were just a social construct, and get off on and get out of the tribunal. It doesn't really work that way. There are no social constructs under international law. If you don't believe me, go find Saddam Hussein and ask him.
Yep. You hear that, folks? Yeah, that's what the definition of genocide is. See, genocide, the war genocide is all about population control. What you think it's about population control. What do you think child support is? Population control. Every type of the globe is controlled by population of a corporate, of ethnic, and ethnic group of race. That's what genocide is, and that white guy was on point right there. See, people think they know what genocide is, but they really don't live. If you don't know nothing about politics, then you don't know how the whole spectrum of the world and how everything in the world works. But I'm gonna tell you, I mean, people have been saying this stuff for years. They said in 50 years down the line, that's been 2042, that the white's gonna be the minority, and Spanish and Middle East gonna be majority. You got my people, African Americans, that think that they the majority. I mean, they the minority, but we the majority. I haven't heard my uncle said this. I don't think we're the minority. We the majority. See, it's all of us in this planet. But see, they don't want us to know that. BET ain't gonna tell you that. MTV ain't gonna tell you that. TV1 ain't going to tell you that. So you have to find your own location after the web, out to do your own research for your own self, if you know what genocide really is. And then the black genocide, that's a different story, but this is a white genocide, and that's what it's about: population control. But I got another video for y'all. I got another video for y'all. Y'all might, and it's gonna be the last one, and I'm gonna wrap this up. People people need to look things at the picture instead of seeing the big picture, see what it is and what it was and what it's all about. But I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what this video right here. That's what's been going on. What's been going on, because it's kind of crazy, but I'm gonna show you what has been going on. All right, here's a video. I'm gonna post this video up. What's going on? All right, and tell me if there is a white genocide that's really going on as it speak, and not just only in just in other countries, but in probably the U.S. as well. But here's a video that Sikh was trying to get the message, try to and learn it from the day, and see what's the next view of to then unto them and unto them, whatever it is. You know what I'm trying to get at. Here's a video.
Мы в Париже, это район Барбес, несколько минут от знаменитого Монмартра. Встретить европейцев здесь практически невозможно. А вообще больше всего мигрантов в Европе проживает именно во Франции. Россия, как говорят, идет по тому же пути. Некоторые парижские улочки уже напоминают восточный базар. Торгуют прямо с земли лепешками, поддельными швейцарскими часами и китайскими тряпками. Иногда полиция устраивает облавы. Кого-то ловят, кто-то убегает. Карабинеры ругаются, караван идет дальше. 70-е годы быстро растущая французская экономика нуждалась в дешевой рабочей силе. Пятая республика открыла свои границы для выходцев из бывших колоний, потом для их семей. Ехали за работой и лучшей жизнью. Теперь Европа в кризисе, и работы даже коренным французам не хватает. Парижские пригороды, застроенные социальными многоэтажками, превращаются в преступные гетто. Туда даже полиция не рискует заезжать.
На крышах наркодилеры держат микроволновые печи или кровати, которые они сбрасывают на полицейских. Полиция с помощью пожарных поджигает эти дома, чтобы выкурить преступников на улице.
Оливье Декрок показывает нам небольшие городки Сент-Уан и Сен-Дени. Подъезды к многоэтажкам контролируют шуфы, смотрящие за торговцами наркотиками. Вот один из них подходит и бьет нашего оператора по лицу.
Поехали, Садов, поехали, ты что?
Оливье командует, что пора убираться из района. Шуфы стреляют не раздумывая. За последний год в перестрелках в Сент-Уане погибли несколько смотрящих. Хоронили их как героев, перекрыв центральные улицы. В арабские кварталы с телевизионной камерой лучше не соваться. Идем туда со скрыткой, так безопаснее. Вот наркодилер получает деньги за свой товар, сует покупателю пакетик с героином. А этот торговец заметил в толпе полицейских и ведет клиентов вглубь района. Если покупатель не местный, то его могут просто ограбить.
Подождите здесь.
Возвращается уже с товаром. Дмитрий Декошко 20 лет назад приобрел в Сент-Уане дом. За эти годы городок практически перестал напоминать старую добрую Францию.
В школьных столовых больше часто не дают свинины. Иногда даже давят на детей, которые не обязательно мусульмане, чтобы они не ели свинину. В некоторых городах установили определенное расписание в бассейнах, когда могут купаться только женщины. И завтра это, конечно, могут быть и автобусы, где будут разделены на женщин, на мужчин.
На весь город осталась только одна мясная лавка, где можно купить нехаляльное мясо с кровью. Мясник недавно сам был ограблен и сильно избит мигрантами, но в интервью предельно толерантен.
Нас было 7 французских мясников, извините, традиционных мясников, потому что если я скажу французских, тогда наш мэр будет недовольна, и она меня просто убьет за это.
Марин Ле Пен – лидер французского национального фронта. Этот фронт называют и российским, и фашистским. Но на последних президентских выборах за Ле Пен и одновременно против миграции проголосовало почти 20% французов.
Эта миграция была использована чиновниками для искусственного понижения зарплаты. Сегодня, без всякого сомнения, это тяжелый груз для экономики Франции. И, безусловно, это является прямой опасностью для французской идентичности. Как совершенно правильно сказал Владимир Путин, через 20 лет Франция станет колонией своих бывших колоний.
Как уверяет Марин Ле Пен, за эти годы во Францию приехало 12 миллионов мигрантов. Это уже 4-я часть от всего населения. Впрочем, депортации Ле Пен не призывает.
Нет смысла выливать воду из лодки, если там есть дырка. Надо сначала закрыть эту дырку и починить лодку. Для этого надо сначала выйти из зоны Шенгена. Мне было 13 лет, когда меня отдали замуж за 40-летнего мужчину в обмен на возможность легализоваться моему брату в Европе по поддельным документам.
Диариату Ба из Гвинеи привезли в Голландию. Оттуда ее новый муж переправил в Париж. Заставлял рожать детей. За них во Франции выплачиваются солидные пособия.
Я 2 раза была беременной, но так и не смогла выносить ребенка из-за того, что муж постоянно меня бил.
Франция в шоке от тех обычаев, которые привозят с собой в багаже мигранты.
В некоторых мусульманских общинах до сих пор практикуется варварское обрезание у маленьких девочек.
Неблагополучные мигрантские районы – благодатная почва для исламского радикализма. Шаразад – сотрудник полиции, работает в отделе по борьбе с терроризмом. Как никто другой знакома с нравами и обычаями парижских пригородов. Несколько лет назад ее руки и сердца добивался выходец из Пакистана. Получив отказ, облил девушку кислотой.
Они привозят сюда свои обычаи и пытаются навязать их другим. Это просто неприемлемо. Они не хотят интегрироваться.
You hear that, folks? You hear that? See, that's what genocide is really all about. That's what it's really about when it comes to into what genocide really is. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know about the rest of the world. But if white genocide are real, what goes on, it could be real for anywhere else, man. Frankly, I don't know. I'm trying to find this video that I was trying to tell you. It was this guy. I don't know what his name was. He was the guy that make a video about Obama, Israel. There was Zionists trying to hurt the president, and there was a lot of that going on. And it's kind of messed up hearing about it, but I don't know how true that is. That's going on. But that's what hearsay was say. But the truth of the matter is, no one knows unless the people go down there. You know, I've been in America all my life in America. I have, and there's a lot of things that's going on. Yeah, this guy, David Duke, that guy right there. Now, some people say that David Duke, he's a Naziism. He's a Naziism. I mean, he look like it. You never know. Or then again, or might try to help out folks out there. I don't know. You never know about all this, man. What's going on? I'm trying to find this video. He was talking about wiping the white race population out. Yeah, here's the video right here. Here's the video. And that explains what the hell is going on. And after that, I'll show this one more video, and we're gonna wrap this all up today in the Basket Basic today. But this is the last one, and I guarantee if once you listen to this, then we're done. But next month I'm gonna talk about this minority and majority stuff, man, and find a definition what it really meant and what it's really about. But here's a video that's been showing what was going on. Okay, here's the video. If you don't see it or not, here's a video right here, and I will show you he'll explain what population what really is. All right. Some of my people say anti-whiteism or what anti-race speculation and maculation. I don't know what it is. You describe what it's about. And here's what it will present to you what it is and what this whole thing is about. Here's the video.
And it's not racism to love your people and love your heritage and want to preserve those ideals. And even if European mankind had not created the great art and literature and music and architecture and technology and even the democratic principles of freedom that the whole world has come to value, even if that were not the case, we still have a right to live. What is the process of our dispossession? What is the process? One of the main aspects of our dispossession is the fact that we have a very low birth rate. Right now, the birth rate among European peoples all over the world, including Europe and the rest of the world, is approximately 1.2. That means for every 2 people, man and woman, they only have an average of 1.2 children. In other words, we're losing 40% of our population every generation. Every generation. That literally means in 8 or 9 generations, a blink of an eye historically, because it took thousands and thousands of generations to make us as we are. In the blink of an eye historically, we are decimated. For every 100 people, in less than 8 generations, we go down to 8 people. We are losing our way of life. Plus, every European nation has massive immigration of non-Europeans into our homelands. And the population groups that are coming in have literally incredible numbers of children. Their population rate of growth is not 1.2. It's not a negative growth. It's a positive growth, often 3, 4, 5. If you combine the immigration and you combine the low birth rates for our people, what we're facing, ladies and gentlemen, what we're facing, and I'm talking, I believe, to many of the future leaders of this country and around the world, what we're facing is the ultimate genocide of our people. But the governments of our respective countries, not only don't think we have the right to exist, they're actually pursuing policies that will wipe us off the face of the earth. Destroy our very heritage and everything we hold dear. Because that's precisely what's happening in Belgium today, in Flanders today, in Austria, in Germany. It's the same thing that's happening in France, the same thing that's happening in Britain, Canada, the United States, Australia. There is no threat to the Turkish people. There is no threat to the African race. In fact, if you go to Nigeria today, it's all black. If you go to China today, it's all yellow. But if you go to Berlin, sometimes you'll think you're in Arabia. And when you say to yourself, I am not going to sit idly by while our people are wiped away. I'm not going to sit idly by while our freedom is wiped away. I'm not going to be on the sidelines. When you realize that it's not a burden for you to be in this fight, but a privilege for you to be in this fight. You young men and women, I'm not going to be here probably to see the fight to its conclusion. I don't know. Hopefully it will happen. It can happen in the twinkle of an eye and the click of a finger. The world can change just like that. I might not see the end of it. But you young men and women, you can see it. You can live through it. You're going to live through the most exciting period of our entire history. You're going to be the ones who decide whether our people's long history is extinguished or whether we go to the stars. You're going to make that decision. You're going to be right in the middle of it. What an exciting, fantastic time of your life. I've paid my prices. I've been in the American gulag right shortly after I opposed the Iraq War. You know, I've been threatened by the communists, attacked by the communists. I've had my reputation slandered from one side to the other. In fact, it got kind of funny in the campaigns. I remember one campaign, one week they were calling me a homosexual, next week they were calling me a womanizer. I must have been pretty busy. But you're going to be on the absolute cutting edge. You're going to be on the line out there. You can live an exciting life, a dynamic life, and I urge you, and the last thing I'll say to you tonight is that I urge each and every one of you not to view this effort and not to view the essence of what this club's about as a hobby. It's not an intellectual exercise. It's not like arguing about a puzzle or whether this scientific approach to a disease is better than another scientific approach. We are talking about life here. We're talking about your life, your children, your country, your freedom, everything that's dear to people of true greatness.
You hear that? You hear that, people? See, that's what the genocide is all about. You hear what he said, though. You hear what that David Duke, what he said. It was going to wipe the white population out. Same thing is going to wipe the black population. See, that's what it's about, people. But see, at least they get it, sort of. But when we is get it, black Americans, I'm gonna tell African American, whatever you want, we want to call ourselves. Because I'm telling you, man, you got to look at it. I've been trying to wake up my people for a very long time. See, this is what integrationist forum is about. This is why prison complex is about. This is what child support collect payment system is about. This is what race and race discrimination is about. This is what all these things about. I'm telling you, man, if they wipe out the white race out, oh yeah, they're gonna wipe the black race too. But see, black men and black women ain't gonna never get that one. White men and white women ain't gonna get it, but they get it now because this guy is explaining it. See, this is why they got mad at Obama. Not because he was running the White House, because he's a black man. Not only that, they were mad because everything changed for those who the white powernism of those who run and sitting in power or not in power and be the favor anymore. And people scared to death if that happens, especially the white power elite people. I'm telling you, even in the black elite. Oh yeah, that's what they're scared of. It's going to wipe everybody to man. This is why people are against interracial dating. This is why people are against that integration. And I remember Martin Luther King even said that I'm afraid I'm going to denigrate my people to a burning house. And that house is still burning to this day in African American community. And they talking about black history, and all of a sudden they still showing all these what's happening in family matters and all this stuff because we in trouble. And we better get near and out of the gutter and see what it is. If they can see what it is, what goes on to their people, we need to see it too. This is why Hurricane Sandy is about, and that right there, people need to do their research about that because that storm looks suspicious. I ain't gonna lie. And that Sandy Hook elementary school shooting and over there in Colorado shooting up there. That's something that's horrible going on. And people need to look it up why Trayvon Martin really died. Better yet, folks, look at a John Q movie. Whatever they call Denzel Washington movie, John Q. And they explain it all to you why Trayvon Martin really died. And guess what? I'll give you a hint. How you gonna translate to a black heart and give it to a white, wealthy politician, elderly person? think about it. Just think about it for a second. But see, this is what white genocide is about. Just like it's black genocide. The only difference is you can't compare it each is certain reinvented of a different way of life, a way of thinking in life. So I hope y'all enjoy that video. And give me your comments, give me your video response, and tell me what you think. What do you think this white genocide is about? Do you think it's about population control? Do you think it's about the doministic, and the bridge that got out of the gap? Or is a lot more to this? Just like it's a black genocide. I know I'm talking about not black genocide. I know I'm talking about white genocide. But next up, I'm going to talk about black genocide. And I hope y'all have a good evening, good night, and until noon and until that. All right. And it's your boy Domination. This is Back of the Basic. Chuckle the Deuce is how we do it, Texas baby. Till next time. All right. Peace. Killing the numbers. I don't know how true that is going on. There's a black agenda. Every time when a sister says she don't need no man, I'm a strong, independent woman. Every time she's talking about she the mother, the father, this and that. They killed reproducing of this world, and they said Planned Parenthood responsible why the black genocide going on. Even in Africa, all that going on. I don't know how true that is, but this is not the black genocide I'm talking about. This is the white genocide. They said in 50 years and down the line that Arabs and Latino people gonna take over France. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. But I'm going to show you two videos. One video I'm going to show you hearing this man is talking right there and there. And I don't know if that's true. What the people out there in France, what's really going on over there? Seriously. And then there's this another thing, this video, but I can't find it. But anybody that knows what I'm talking about, if it's in there or not, they said there was a lot of killing going on in South Africa with white farmers, and that's kind of messed up. Innocent white farmers getting killed by Africans. I don't know how true that is, but that's just hearsay. People might say, well, that's conspiracy. That's conspiracy of absentism going on. But we'll never know, because we always think America is the whole entire world, but there's an outside of the world that we don't know. Hey, YouTubers, it's your boy Domination. I'm back again. The only place. Oh, place gonna get it. Only place gonna get it is right back at basic. Chuckle the Deuce is how we do it, Texas baby. Chuckle the Deuce how we do it, Texas baby. Man, $1 back. You know what it is. Know it is. Real men rise up, fake men rise down. Real women rise up, fake women rise down. Prep the one preacher and preach on. And today's topic we're gonna talk about is: do y'all think there's a white genocide going on? Do y'all think so? I've been hearing that from all talks. I hear it from black genocides that every time when a black person or a black man or black women, especially for black men getting murdered on the street, getting died of a hand of drugging other drugs from other people, sell the poison of sticker bug oaks. Every time when a brother go to prison, every time brothers have babies by different women, you
think white people like that? Yeah, but seem like it's more Mexicans than white folks out here.
Just maybe someday it just means a completely blended group of people that nobody will be able to figure out what anybody is anymore. Is that a good thing? I think that's a great thing.
I think we are yellowing America and everybody's blending, and I think that's a good thing.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think we got enough here. And just imagine what America's going to be 15 years from now.
Oh, I can see the potential for a lot of racial tension between blacks and Latinos.
you're here bleeding our social services, you're using our hospitals, you're using this without contributing anything to our society.
But they can come over here and don't even have to speak English. You know what I'm saying? If we're in their country, we would have to adapt.
The people who want to come to America, from Mexico, my feeling is, by God, let them in, you know? Absolutely.
We've got some people saying that we've got to open up the door and allow more in.
No, we shouldn't.
Saying that we should close the door and build a wall.
Close the door and build a wall.
And what's so bad about it, these Mexicans have more of an attitude. They're more arrogant than what a white man is.
So you say that the Mexicans are more racist than the whites?
Yes, especially the ones with the big belt buckles and the reptile shoes.
You know, the United States lets 250,000 immigrants come in every year. It's more than any country in the world.
Correct.
So you think that's...
A new report out by the government shows that by the year 2042, white Americans will no longer represent the majority of the population. That prediction is 8 years sooner than previously expected.
The Census Bureau believes that by 2042, white Americans will make up less than half of the U.S. population. But with so many mixed communities, diverse families, and changing mindsets, Hespiver believes that by that time, ethnic lines will be blurred.
Will we reach even a point at which we will say, these categories don't mean anything anymore?
Do I think white people will become a minority? When I say that, I include particularly the Hispanic population. And yet they're really, as I understand it, that's not really a race. So when we talk technically race, that's wrong. It's just that Hispanic people are a protected class. Do I think white nationalists have a point in saying enough is enough when whites are now at 66%, when our founding fathers were at 100%? I guess I don't. I don't think they have a point. I don't appreciate those organizations. But to some extent, I guess I can appreciate maybe the people's sense of loss.
In fact, white folks are starting to be a minority now.
And see, people need to get off that trap in the bubble and get outside of it. See, outside, explore the world, explore the new options, explore the other people, and see other cultures, and that's going on. But here's the video, but I'm going to play this one and then play the rest and wrap this up. But here's the video that will prove to you, do you think that white genocides are real? Do you think so? That it don't lead up to me, it's lead up to you who you believe. But here's a video if you believe it or not. And I'm going to play it for you. Here's the video, all right? All right.
Then why do so many people want to come here if we're so bad?
Because there are places where they can do good here. If we allow for that to happen and we create change.
Change?
Change.
So that means a changing America. You want a changing
America. Of course America has to change.
Right. And you'd like the changing America to be the dominant people would be people of color.
That's going to happen anyway.
But you want it to happen, do you not?
That's going to happen anyway.
Do you not want it to happen?
That's going to happen whether you or I want it or not.
That's the bottom line on it, isn't it, Charles?
No, the bottom line
it is.
That you fear
I don't fear anything.
Your white privilege will no longer exist.
Rule of law. You want a totally different country.
It's going to happen whether you like it or not, whether I want it or not. Look at New York City. The majority of the people in New York City are people of color. And that's why you have problems with immigration.
And that's
because
why
of the browning of America.
That's why
you want to stay in control. You want to stay in power.